Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Brianne Beebe if you're new here. I'm a high school math teacher and today we are doing a tech tutorial on Canva. So if you're not already familiar, Canva is an online app that you can use to create feels like just about anything. A lot of people use this for social media posts and it has great use there, but in the classroom you can create presentations, documents, all kinds of things. So I'm going to just share more of an overview of Canva. What's really great is that if you sign up as an educator, you can get a free account. Now, there is a free account available for just anyone, but that account is very limited in what you can and can't do, and there's going to be some things that you need a pro version to access. The pro version currently costs, I believe, $120 a year, but if you're an educator, you get, I think, most of the pro stuff, if not all of it, for free. So if you want to use it as an educator, make sure that you're signing up with an educator account. And Canva's not limited to just educators. Your students could use this too. So I'm going to show you some of the things that it can do just to give you some ideas on just basically ways to make your life easier. So let's get started. I'm going back in the edit to add this, so if it sounds different, that's why. But when you go to sign up for a Canva account as an educator, you want to go to canva.com/education. I'll have the link in the description box below. But to sign up, you're going to go here where it says teachers, and you're going to click get verified, and it will walk you through the steps of setting up your account. So when I log into Canva on my educator account, this is what I see. You do have some ideas up here, the design spotlight, business stuff, which for school you don't really need. There is all this for educators. You can create collaboratively. You can have students use documents, free teacher resources. It can integrate with your learning management system. They have case studies and then higher education. And here it says you can become an education creator. I did not know about this until I looked here, but that's pretty cool. They have the plans and pricing, which when it's for education, it's free for classrooms, districts, and students. And then there is more to learn about. So if you go to here, you can see all these different things that you can click on. On the left toolbar here, you can see home, projects that will take you to projects that you've already created. You can go to templates, which will pull up all different kinds of templates that you can create with. You also have the option for a brand, which I use personally for my business version of Canva, but you can create a brand kit. And what this does is it saves your favorite color palette. If you wanted to put a logo, not quite sure how that would translate for an educator, but if you wanted to have a logo, you could. Color palette, if there are certain colors that you just absolutely love, you can add them here. And then you can also set up fonts that you want to work with frequently. Now, what's really cool about Canva is you can upload fonts that you purchase on TPT or anywhere else online, or even if you download them for free, you can add your own fonts in here. That's not something that you can do on any Google Docs or slides. And lastly, we have apps, which, to be honest, I'm just seeing this for the first time. I've never come down to the apps, but it says you have a content planner, smart mockups, product photos. That to me sounds more like business type stuff, but there's probably something interesting and really cool that you could use. Looks like there's an integration with Dropbox and Google Drive. That is awesome, something to really look into. We've had a brief training in my school on Lumio, which was really cool. So it looks like there's an integration with Lumio, which is excellent. So I just want to be very clear that I'm just showing you some of the basics. There is way, way more that you can do with Canva that I won't be getting into. And lastly, there is this tab here for classwork, which for this you'll have to connect to your LMS. But you can manage activities in Canva. So that is really cool. Now, my school actually does not have a contract set up with Canva, and that's something that we would need in New York State to be able to use with students. So I do not have any experience in using this with students or recommendations or anything like that. But if your school allows you, you could use Canva with students, which is pretty cool. Okay, so back to home. It is Canva's 10th birthday, so they have this on here now. This is not usually what you see when you come in, but it's pretty cool. You get a For You
that you can see. There are docs. You can also create for whiteboards, which is something I've never used. Like I said, I typically just work on presentations here. Social media, which if you were in charge of that for your school, that would be useful. Videos, and you can create print products. You could actually like print out business cards, postcards, t-shirts, tote bags, all different kinds of things. So that's also really cool. I mean, if you had a club or something and you wanted to have t-shirts made, you could go through Canva. You could also publish a website using Canva, which again, I have not really ever done, but there's all kinds of templates, different things that you could do there. That could be a great project for students. Then if you go to the More tab, they give you just all kinds of things. Infographics, photo collage, desktop wallpaper, a graph, book cover, mind map, magazine cover. And then there's more. You can keep clicking through and there's so much. So here the possibilities are really endless, but like I said, I just want to show you some of the basics. So the projects that I've done personally have been presentations, meaning slideshows. So when we came back from winter break, this is what I put up for my students, and it was just reminders because, we need a refresher. December, there were some behaviors that we needed to iron out when we returned in January. Another way that I've used Canva is with our SEL curriculum. We're required to do a couple of SEL lessons throughout the year, and what we're handed is a script on paper. So I took that script and put it into slides, and this just helped me go through everything, and I feel like it helps students when they can hear and see what I'm talking about at the same time. And the feedback that I received from my students was that they appreciated me taking the time to put together slides because they said, our other teachers don't do that for us. They just read the script to us. This is a newer use, but you can create documents. Documents are not new, but what happens is with the document, you can create an outline of whatever's going on. I went to a website and found testing strategies and just turned them into a bulleted list. I included a web link to the article that I was using, and I just shared tips with my students for test prep. And then what you can do after that is go to Convert, and you can use that to create a presentation. They do give you note though that this is new. They're still making improvements. It might not be perfect, but they will spit out a couple of different template styles. So you can pick one. I picked this one, and then you go to create my presentation. And this is what my presentation ended up looking like. So instead of me having to take those sources and create slides, I just created the bulleted list that you see here in the document. And then when I convert it, it comes out as slides. And then I changed the fonts and some of the colors, and this is what I was able to present to my students rather than a list. All right, so there are some more things you can see on the home screen about what you can create. There's different templates here. You can design a book report, create a school TV news video, design a newsletter. So I know some teachers like to have newsletters go out to parents regularly. You can do a discover about me. And you can also make flyers for school events. You also have the ability to make worksheets, posters. Like I said, you can make so many things. At the top here, they have you might want to try. These are going to open up blank versions of any of these things. While that can be great if you know exactly what you want to do, usually I come here because I want a template. This will pop up a bunch of templates for me to start from instead of starting from scratch, which is my favorite time-saving hack. So you get so many presentations to choose from. You can keep scrolling. They have some different sections here that you can look at. You can also type into the search bar up here, and it will give you a lot of suggestions for whatever keywords you use. We have a presentation here, flyer, worksheets if you keep going. And what's really cool is when you open these up, you can change everything that you see. Let's say I go with this one here that says meet the teacher. They give me a preview here, which is excellent. So I can kind of see what it looks like. Maybe I decide I want to change into one of the other options that they give to me. This one looks like so much fun. Let's say I'm going to customize this one. And just going back real quick, anytime you see the graduation cap with EDU, it means that this is something that you're able to use for free on this account that you wouldn't be able to use if you had just the standard free Canva account. They will let you know who designed it. You can click here and you can see more of their different templates. If I click apply all 10 pages, it will populate all 10 pages down here. Usually, I don't know what's going on. My computer's actually been giving me a hard time today. So they're there now. There's a template style. I can click here and it will shuffle where the colors are. Let's say I apply that style to all the pages. You can see it change them to just have a dark background, and it just moves some of the colors. You can actually go through and find different color palettes and font pairings, and you could change it that way. Then you get more suggestions. There's so many cool things you could do with this. I'm so distracted by the suggestions right now. They look amazing. So one thing you can do with the slide is you can animate, and you can animate the things individually if you click on them. Like animates right here, but if you click on the whole slide, it will just animate everything for you. If you hover over, it shows you what it looks like. And if you click on there, you can decide if it's on entering, on exiting. You could apply it to all the pages if you want. You can go up here and change the timing, everything. So just whatever makes you happy, doesn't really matter. And then you can see what it looks like by going to present, and you can see the presentation. I'm not going to do that here because my screen is cropped to just fit here. If I want to change any of these things, I can click on them. Now this is an element, and there's two colors being used here, and I can change those colors. What comes up here at the top is all of the different colors that are used throughout the slideshow. So I can stay within the color scheme that was used for making this slideshow. I can use my brand colors if I had them here. I could use photo colors, which means usually there's a photo, or sometimes it's like the background or looking at the slide as a whole in this case, and it picks up on the main colors being used here. So you could get those. You also have the default colors, so you could select any of these and it would change it. What's really awesome is you could change all, and that for the entire presentation we'll take this teal color and switch it to pink if that's what we want. See, I'm going to undo that. Your Control Z or Command Z will undo any changes that you make. You could also add a new color, so you could drag this around, you could drag this around, and then you could also get the eyedropper tool, which is really cool. So you could click anything else and it will change it to that color that you select the eyedropper. And you're not stuck on just what's on this page here. I could take the eyedropper anywhere on my desktop and get the color that's there. Now you can change the text by just clicking on it. One thing that's really cool is changing the size of the text. You can just click and drag and it will change the text according to the size of the text box. But you get all these options here. The thing with Canva is it can do so much. You really have to take the time to practice with it and use it to really learn how to use it. And that's something that I did not know when I first started using Canva a few years ago. For the longest time, I was like, yeah, but I would rather just stick with PowerPoint because I already knew PowerPoint. But after playing with Canva, it depends on what I'm creating. Certain things I like Canva for, like the templates are amazing and it saves me so much time. When I know what I want to do from scratch, I might want to go to PowerPoint. I feel like with PowerPoint, you have more control over minute details than maybe you do on Canva, like just trying to set things to be a specific size. If I wanted to do that on PowerPoint, that's really easy, but here it's not. So that was just a whole tangent I didn't quite mean to go on, but it's important to know that it just takes some practice. So you get the fonts listed. There are the document fonts. So these are the fonts being used within the presentation. Then you also get recommended fonts. Let's say I didn't like this font that it started out with and I wanted to change it to what's called Sunday. Once I make that one change, I can click here, change all, and then you might have seen the shift happen down here. It changed every font that it was originally. I forgot what it was. Whatever it was, it got changed over to this font called Sunday automatically. So that's just a huge time saver. You also have recently used fonts that will pop up, brand fonts, and then you can also have popular fonts. And then even down here it says, hey, if you want to, you can upload a font. So that's super easy to work with. One thing I wish you could do was like save a font if you really loved it. Like this one's beautiful. I would love to have that one saved. You also, if you click down on this arrow, it will populate more options if they're available. They're not always available. It depends. Going back to the fonts, some of them you can bold, italicize, underline, strike through. It just depends. Sometimes those options are not available. You can change the font size by clicking the number in addition to dragging the text box, but you also get the plus and minus if you want to increase it just a little bit at a time. You can also change the cases, which depends on the font. So if I want it all uppercase, I can change it with just one click. I don't have to retype everything. You got your alignment, you got your list. So this comes out as a bulleted list, and if I click it again, it will be a numbered list. And if I want that gone, I just click it again and it's gone. Then we have the spacing. Let me actually show you this I'll show this one here first. There's two spacing options. The first one is letter spacing. So you can have them spaced more far apart. You can space them closer together, whatever makes you happy. The line spacing, though, you need to see what it looks like on paragraph text. Oops, I did not mean to click that last one. All right, so for the line spacing, again, you're just going to click and drag, but you can change the spacing. And then if you wanted it, 1.4 is like their default. If you wanted it double spaced, then you can change the number to 2. And then it also lets you change where the text is within the text box if, the text box is larger than the text. You also get text effects. This one is using the outline effect where you have a dark outline and then the inside is another color. No, I think I have that backwards. So the outside is black, but then the inside is whatever color you make the font. So if I change the color here to the blue, it's now blue on the inside, but the outline in the effect is black. But if you wanted to change it to a different color, you could change the outline to a different color. But there's just a lot of different effects that you can play with. And then after you select an effect, look at what pops up underneath, because there's other parts that you can change to suit your needs. You also have the curved option, which is fun to play with. I don't know, something about text in like an arc or a more of a circle is really appealing. So you can get that and change how that looks. I'm actually curious if this is an element. Yeah, that's an element or an image. But I was looking at this thinking maybe that was text with an effect, but it's not. All right, let me just reset that. You also have the positioning, so you can change where it is. They also have this, which I think is a newer feature. So these are just all the different things that are on here, but you can move them to the front or the back just by clicking and dragging. Not that you can tell the difference. Let me try putting this like backward down here. So that would disappear, but I could bring it back by just pulling it back up here. So this is a really cool feature that you have on PowerPoint, but only for Macs. Now I filmed the PowerPoint tutorial already. That will be out in September if you're seeing this video in real time. So that is coming, but I just wanted to do Canva first because I feel like it's nice for back to school. So that was under layers. You have all or just the overlapping ones that you can play with. And then arranging, you can move things forward, back. You can change where they're aligned. This is where you can actually change the size of things, but it's not as intuitive as it is on PowerPoint. You can also change transparency of things, which is really cool. With the elements, now this right here is, it says a photo. I can't do any changes to it, but like when I clicked up here with the little smiling heart, I could change the color. So it just depends on what it is that you're adding into your slide. I just want to give myself like a blank slide here. I want to show you the elements. There are so many awesome things that you can get from here. It's taking a long time to load today though. I don't know why. This is not typical. But you get like this is your recently used, whatever it is that you've been looking through, you get all these different shapes. And if you want more, you're just going to go over to see all, and you can scroll and scroll and find all kinds of things. The shapes you can fill with color. The graphics here, now these are like hit and miss. So it looks like they're giving us graphics that match the style of what we have here. For this particular graphic, you can change the different colors to match the, what's the word? The theme of the slideshow, but sometimes you can't. So that I showed you before on the other slide. You can add all kinds of stickers. This one's cool because it's animated. So sometimes you find things that are animated. I didn't notice that here, but it's very clear here. And again, you can change the colors, which is awesome. There are photos, so you can get photos. This is of actual people. And the results that are popping up are in line with the theme of what we have going on here. There's videos, audio, charts, tables. Frames are really cool. So with frames, you can basically just drag and drop a photo in here and it will fill the frame. It can be kind of frustrating sometimes if you want it to look a certain way. So let's say I drop in this picture here. You can also upload pictures, which I didn't get to yet. And it's going to fill the frame. If you double click, you can change how it's framed. So that's super helpful. Then they have the collections here. Just there's so much here. So definitely take the time to play with Canva and see what you can find. Let's get all that out of there. There's your text. So this is just for adding a text box, but you could add it as a heading, subheading, body text. You also get some fun font combinations. You can upload your own images, videos, and audio. You can even record yourself. There's also the feature where you can draw. Personally, I have not used this. I feel like on my iPad with the Canva app, that would be great because I'd have the pencil. But just on here using the mouse, not my favorite, but you know, if you want to. You can also bring in things from other projects by going here. And then there are apps. So the one app that I've used frequently on the business account is a background remover, but these are different apps that I'm seeing here. Like these are ones that make sense for education. Looks like you can actually save some of your favorite apps. Let's see, so background remover didn't come up. I mean, you can find whatever it is that you want to use there. Going back to elements, let's say you really loved a particular element. If you click on those 3 dots in the top right corner, you'll get more information about it. So you can see who created it and it gives you a link. So you can see more things that were created by this person, and sometimes they're in a line with the thing that you like. And then that's just helpful to find more of the same thing. You also get some different keywords. So let's say you're trying to find something in particular, but you can't find exactly what it is that you have in mind. You can go here and check out some of the other keywords that this is associated with, if this was like close to what I was looking for. And then you could find other keywords to search to hopefully find what you want. There's also a button to see more like this. So it pops up and these are similar animations. And you can also add to folder. So that's just a way to save it for later. Or you could view a collection that's similar to this. So it's some of the see more things, but plus some others. Another thing that you can do if you really like an element is star it. And when you star an element, it makes it so that you can find it again more easily. So let's say I go to projects. If I scroll down, we have starred and it brings up anything that I've starred before. So it could be an element. It could be some of the different, what's the word for these? Presentation templates that I liked. So it's just here and I can find it very easily. If you don't like something, you can unstar it and it will be removed from the folder. Okay. One more thing I wanted to show you. You can go to the share button. There's so many ways you can share it. You can share this as a copy link so other people could collaborate. You could share this as a view only link. That's like if you had a slideshow or a document and you wanted the parents to see it but not change it, you would click here and copy this link to share that with them. You could also present, you could add it as a template, you can make it an assignment, which is something I have zero experience with. But what's really cool is you can download it. And if you click on file type, you get a bunch of options. You could turn it into a PDF. You get two options there. But you could also export it as a PowerPoint document. And that way you would have your PowerPoint capabilities. With this, there might be some things that have an issue just communicating with each other, I found, but it's fixable if you know your way around PowerPoint. You could also export it as a video. You could save slides as images, or you could save it as a GIF. Now, personally, I might want to have a back to school set of slides in Google Slides instead of Canva. So what you'll do is select whatever you want. You can select the pages that you want, and then you can download. They will let you know of any issues though, like animations won't play when exported as a PowerPoint. But let's say that I wanted to have this slideshow, but I want it in Google Slides. What I'd have to do is download it as either PowerPoint or as individual images. Like if I selected JPEGs, it would create a zip file for me with each page as an image. I'd have to download it as either one of those and then upload it into Google Slides. So just because it's in Canva doesn't mean you can't use it elsewhere. So I know this is a lot. Like I said, the key is to play with it so you get better at it if this is something that you want to try using. But I love it just for the sake of saving time because you got templates to start with. I really tried to keep this video brief, but like you can see, there's so much here, so many possibilities, so many ideas, so much inspiration. I hope you give this a try if it's something that would work out for you. If you have any questions, I cannot guarantee that I have the answers, but please leave them in the comments and I will do what I can. And as always, thanks for watching.